Have you ever had the feeling that certain encounters in your life were not by chance? As if some people were placed in your path with a greater purpose, something that goes beyond what we can comprehend with the mind. This idea that our deeper connections have a spiritual meaning resonates in many traditions and beliefs. Today, we are going to talk about soul contracts, a concept that helps us understand why some people enter our lives in such a striking and transformative way. These contracts are commitments made by our souls before we are born, part of a greater plan that guides our growth and evolution. Just as God's chosen ones are called to fulfill specific missions, soul contracts connect us to people who play fundamental roles in our journey. These connections are not random. They are carefully planned to teach us, challenge us, and help us grow. In 2025, you may encounter someone who was placed in your life for a greater purpose. It could be someone you have never met before, but who, upon crossing your path, awakens in you a sense of inexplicable familiarity. Or perhaps it is someone who is already in your life but suddenly takes on a more significant role. These encounters are signs that the divine plan is unfolding, guiding you to the next chapter of your journey. If you have ever felt that certain people entered your life for a special reason, or if you are waiting for an encounter that feels destined, this is the time to reflect on what your soul is trying to show you. Before we continue, take this moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. This helps us bring messages like this to more people who are also seeking answers and deeper connections. Now, let's dive into the signs that may change the way you see your relationships and the greater purpose behind them. One of the first signs that you have a soul contract with someone is the instant and inexplicable connection. It's that moment when you meet a person, and for no apparent reason, feel that you already know them. It doesn't matter if it's the first time you've seen each other. There is something deep and familiar that arises the instant your eyes meet. It's as if, on a level that goes beyond the mind and body, your souls recognize each other. This feeling can be so strong that it becomes unsettling, but at the same time, it brings an inexplicable comfort, as if you are reuniting with someone who has always been a part of your life. This connection is not something that can be explained by logic or circumstances. It's not about having common interests, sharing experiences, or having a similar history. It's something that is simply there, like an invisible force that binds you together. Often, this feeling is accompanied by an inner peace or even intense emotion, as if something within you is awakening. It's as if your soul is saying, "I know this person. They are important to me." Dolores Cannon, a spiritual researcher who dedicated her life to exploring the mysteries of the soul, described this connection as an echo of past lives. According to her, our souls carry memories of previous experiences, and when we meet someone with whom we have a soul contract, these memories come to the surface, even if subtly. That's why sometimes we feel such a strong affinity with someone we have just met. It's not the first time our souls have encountered each other. They have been together before, in other times, in other lives, and now they are reuniting to fulfill a greater purpose. This instant connection can also be seen as a reminder that there is something greater at play. Just as God's chosen ones are guided by a divine force to fulfill their missions, these encounters are signs that the divine plan is unfolding in your life. It's not by chance that you feel this strong bond. It's as if God is saying, "This person has been placed in your path for a reason. Pay attention." Often this connection arises in unexpected moments. It could be during a casual conversation, in an apparently random meeting, or even in a place where you would never imagine finding someone special. But when it happens, it's impossible to ignore. You feel that this person has something to do with your journey, even if you don't yet know exactly what. It could be someone who will help you grow, overcome challenges, or discover something important about yourself. Or perhaps it's someone you are called to help, support, or inspire. What matters is that this connection has a purpose, and it is there to guide you toward the next step in your evolution. However, it's important to remember that these connections are not always easy. Sometimes, meeting someone with whom you have a soul contract can bring up intense emotions or even challenges. This happens because these connections are not here just to bring comfort or joy. They also have the purpose of helping us grow, learn, and evolve. And for that, we often need to face parts of ourselves that we would prefer to avoid. On the other hand, these connections can also be incredibly comforting. They remind us that we are not alone on our journey. Knowing that there is someone who shares such a deep bond with you, even if you have just met, is proof that the universe is working in your favor. It's a reminder that there is a greater plan at work, and that you are exactly where you should be. These perfect moments can happen in various ways. Perhaps you are thinking of someone, and suddenly, that person reaches out to you. Or maybe you are reflecting on a problem, and out of nowhere, you meet someone who has exactly the answer you needed. It could be that you are in an unexpected place and meet someone who in some way changes your life. These encounters are not random. They are carefully planned to help you grow, learn, and fulfill the purpose that God has for you. Synchronicity also teaches us to trust in God's timing. Often we want to control everything, plan every detail, and have all the answers. But these moments show us that there is something greater at work, something that is beyond our understanding. They invite us to let go of control and allow God to guide us. When you start to pay attention to these signs, you realize that nothing in your life is by chance. Every encounter, every conversation, every situation has a purpose. Even challenges and difficulties are part of the divine plan, preparing you for something greater. Synchronicity is a divine gift, a reminder that you are not alone. If you have ever experienced something like this, you know how powerful it can be. It's as if the universe is whispering in your ear, saying, "I am here. Trust." And if you have not yet had this experience, be attentive. The third sign that you have a soul contract with someone is the feeling of completeness. When this person enters your life, it's as if something inside you finally clicks into place. It's a feeling that is hard to explain but deeply real. You feel that a part of you that was lost or dormant has been restored. This person not only complements your life, but also awakens something in you that helps you align with the purpose that God has for your journey. This feeling of completeness does not mean that you were incomplete before meeting this person. On the contrary, you are already whole, but this connection brings a depth and meaning that you may not have even realized you were seeking. It's as if this person is a key piece in the puzzle of your life, helping you see the bigger picture. Just as God's chosen ones find strength and direction in their faith, this connection brings clarity, purpose, and a sense of spiritual fulfillment that transcends human understanding. When you meet someone with whom you have this type of bond, the relationship goes beyond the ordinary. It's not just about friendship, love, or partnership. It's something deeper, something that touches your soul. This person may help you see things about yourself that you never noticed before. They may inspire you to grow, to overcome fears, or to follow a path that you always knew you should take, but didn't have the courage to start. This connection is not about dependency or need, but about mutual growth and alignment with the divine plan. Often, this feeling of completeness is accompanied by an inner peace. Even when life is full of challenges, this person brings a sense of balance and security. It's as if, when you are with them, you know that you are exactly where you should be. This peace does not mean that everything will always be easy. On the contrary, the people with whom we have soul contracts often challenge us to grow and face parts of ourselves that we would prefer to avoid. But even in difficult moments, there is a certainty that this connection has a greater purpose. This feeling of completeness can also be perceived in small moments of everyday life. It could be a conversation that seems to flow effortlessly, as if you are speaking the same language. It could be a look that conveys more than words could say. Or it could simply be being next to this person and feeling that everything is okay, even when the world around you is chaotic. These moments are reminders that this connection is special, something that goes beyond what we can comprehend with the mind. In 2025, you may meet someone who will bring this feeling of completeness into your life. It could be someone new who enters your journey unexpectedly, or someone who is already by your side, but takes on a more significant role. The important thing is to be attentive and receptive. Pay attention to the people who make you feel more connected to yourself and to God. These are the people who have been placed in your life for a greater purpose. The fourth sign that you have a soul contract with someone is the presence of challenges that lead to growth. Contrary to what many think, these connections are not always easy or peaceful. In fact, they can be intense, uncomfortable, and sometimes even painful. This happens because these people are not in your life just to bring comfort or joy, but to help you grow, evolve, and align with the purpose that God has for you. Just as God tests the chosen ones to strengthen them, these connections are divine tools to shape you into the person you are called to be. When you meet someone with whom you have a soul contract, this person often acts as a mirror. They reflect not only your qualities, but also your weaknesses, fears, and insecurities. This can be uncomfortable because it forces us to look at parts of ourselves that we would prefer to ignore. Perhaps this person challenges you to be more honest with yourself, to confront past traumas, or to let go of habits and behaviors that are not aligned with God's purpose for your life. These challenges may seem difficult at the moment, but over time, you realize that they were necessary for your growth. These connections also have the power to push you out of your comfort zone. Often, we are so accustomed to our routines and ways of thinking that we resist change. But God, in His wisdom, knows that growth only happens when we are challenged. The people with whom we have soul contracts are placed in our lives to push us forward, even if that means taking us out of the place where we feel safe. They show us that we are capable of much more than we imagine, and help us discover strengths we didn't even know we had. For example, you may meet someone who challenges you to be more vulnerable, to trust others more, or to open yourself up to love. Or perhaps this person confronts you about something you need to change, such as a behavior or attitude that is hindering your progress. These moments can be uncomfortable, but they are opportunities for learning and transformation. God uses these connections to shape you, to help you grow, and to prepare you for the greater purpose He has for your life. It is important to remember that these challenges are not punishments, but gifts. They are opportunities for spiritual and emotional growth. Just as gold is refined by fire, we too are shaped by difficulties. God allows these people to enter our lives to teach us important lessons, to strengthen us, and to help us become the best version of ourselves. In 2025, be prepared for these relationships. They may be intense, but they will also be profoundly transformative. If you have ever experienced this type of relationship, you know how transformative it can be. And if you have not yet found someone like this, be attentive. In 2025, God may be preparing encounters that, although challenging, will bring growth and transformation to your life. Trust the process, even when it is difficult. Remember that God is in control and that He uses these connections to shape you, to strengthen you, and to guide you toward His purpose. The fifth sign that you have a soul contract with someone is the deep feeling of safety and trust. It is a feeling that goes far beyond what we can explain with words. It's as if your soul recognizes a safe harbor. When you are with this person, there is an inner peace that makes you feel protected and understood, even without needing to say anything. It is similar to the peace that God's chosen ones find in His presence, a place where you can simply be who you are. This trust is not built over time, as it happens in ordinary relationships. It is present from the very beginning, as if your soul already knows it can trust this person. It is a feeling that arises naturally, effortlessly. Even if you have difficulty trusting people due to past experiences, with this person it is different. You feel that you can let your guard down and show who you really are, without fear of judgment or rejection. It is important to note that this safety does not mean dependence. It is not about needing the person to feel good or complete. It is more like having a walking partner, someone who understands your journey and is there to support you as you grow and evolve. This person becomes a reflection of God's love and care in your life. When you experience this feeling of safety and trust with someone, it is as if a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to hide. You don't need to be anything other than who you are. This freedom to be authentic is one of the greatest gifts that a soul contract can bring. If you have ever found someone like this in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't found it yet, keep your heart open. God knows the right moment to bring these special connections into your life. When it happens, you will know. It will be like coming home, a place where your soul can rest, knowing that it is safe and protected. The sixth sign of a soul contract is a connection that goes beyond time and space. You know that person who, even after months or years without contact, when you meet again, it feels like no time has passed. It's as if you had talked yesterday. There is no initial awkwardness or the feeling of distance that usually happens when we haven't seen someone for a long time. The conversation flows naturally, the smiles are sincere, and the affection remains intact. It's as if there is an invisible thread connecting you, something that neither distance nor time can break. You could be on the other side of the world, living a completely different life, but this person still occupies a special place in your heart. Sometimes you think of them, and, coincidentally, receive a message or a call. These are moments that seem magical, but in reality, they are signs that God has intertwined your paths in a special way. This connection is different from common friendships or relationships that weaken with distance. With a soul contract, even if you take different paths, there is an inner certainty that you will reunite when the time is right. It's as if your souls know they are part of the same story, even if the current chapters are being written separately. Have you ever missed someone, but not in a painful way? It's more like a warmth in your chest, a calm certainty that this person is well, and that you will see each other again. This is how a connection that transcends time manifests. There is no anxiety or fear of losing contact, because deep down, you know that some encounters are eternal, marked by God. When we talk about soul contracts, we are talking about something much greater than simple casual encounters. These are deep connections, planned by God long before we were born. It's as if He, in His infinite wisdom, knew exactly who we would need to meet at each moment of our lives to grow, learn, and become who we should be. These 7 signs we explored, the instant connection, synchronicity, the feeling of completeness, the challenges that make us grow, deep trust, the connection that transcends time, and the ability to become better people, are like clues that God leaves on our path. They are ways for Him to show us that certain people are not in our lives by chance, but are part of a greater plan. In 2025, you may discover new soul contracts or strengthen the ones that already exist. Perhaps that person who has always been around will take on a deeper meaning. Or maybe someone new will enter your life, bringing exactly what you needed, even without knowing that you were looking for it. The important thing is to keep your heart open and your eyes attentive to the signs that God places on your path. Remember, you are chosen, someone special in the eyes of God. Every person He places in your life has a purpose, even if you don't immediately understand what it is. Sometimes, it takes time to realize why certain encounters happened. Other times, the reason is clear from the very first moment. What matters is to trust that God is in control, weaving every detail of your story with love and care. And now, I want to ask you a special question. Chosen one of God. Have you ever met someone with whom you have a soul contract? That person who makes your heart recognize a deeper connection, who inspires you to be better, who remains important even as time passes. If so, you are blessed to have found one of the most special connections we can have in this life. If not yet, be at peace. God knows the right moment for each encounter, and when it happens, you will know. After all, some connections are so deep that our soul recognizes instantly. This meeting was planned by God.